What's up, brewing peeps? Brewing Daddy back. We are gonna be doing a Northern Brewer Nut Brown Ale 1 gallon recipe today, and let's see what we are dealing with here. Never done this one before, first time. Lots of paper as normal. Wow, another dried malt extract recipe. So Brew Golden Light. I'll be doing 3 of these in a row. Some fizz drops. I'm super excited. As y'all know, I don't like dried malt extract, but it's okay. It makes some wonderful brews. We got a steeping bag there. We got some nut brown ale grains, UK Fuggle hops, and we got a English ale yeast, and our Northern Brewer instructions. All right, we're gonna get brewing and see how this one turns out. We'll see you in a bit. All right, so we're gonna get started with our brewing our nut brown ale. We already got a gallon in our kettle and we're warming it up. We're gonna get it up to 150 degrees. We'll put another half gallon in. They call for 1.25 gallons, but it never is quite enough. So I'm just gonna add approximately a half gallon. All right, and now we need to get our grains in because we're already up. We're going to be around 150 degrees, and that's actually where we're sitting, even after dumping in that cold water. So we are already getting up temperature. We lit our burner before we put in the second half gallon. So we got 1.5 gallons total in there right now. So we're going to get our grains in our bag, and we're going to steep these for 10 minutes at around 150 degrees. Easiest way to do this, just throw your plastic bag inside your steeping bag and then turn it upside down and shake it all out. Usually comes out a lot easier than that. Okay, so what we're going to want to do, tie a knot in it just to make sure that we don't lose anything. We're going to steep this for 10 minutes. We want to make sure everything's nice and moist and down inside the water here. So I'm just going to bob it a few times. I like to use a little clip like this to clip it onto the handle or the side of the pipe, just so we don't lose it. And yeah, we're sitting at like a little over 150 degrees right now. So that will hold it in place. Just make sure it's submerged. We're good. Keep an eye on that temperature. You don't want to get it too hot. I'm going to turn back the burner just a hair so that we don't get it too hot while we're steeping it. So we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back after 10 minutes and pull that out. And while we wait, we're going to enjoy this nice Smashing Pumpkin Ale that we brewed. Oh gosh, it's been a few weeks, maybe a couple months ago now. I love that beer. Just awesome beer. I know it's late spring, early summer, but you can enjoy that year round. All right, we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, our timer has went off. So we should be good to remove our steeping bag here. It looks nice and dark brown like it should. I'm just gonna let this drain really good. Once we get this out of here, we're gonna crank the heat up and we're gonna get this up to a boil so that we can enter our dried malt extract into it. Now what I like to do is get it right before the boil, because this stuff will boil over very easy. So I like to introduce the dried malt extract right before the boil starts. So we're going to get this heated up to a boil, and we'll be back and we'll be putting our dried malt extract in. We'll see you then. All right, so we're back and we're very close. We're like 100 and about 190 degrees, a little bit more than that. I'm going to go ahead and put in our dried malt extract. Actually, I lie. We're way more than that. We're like 217 degrees, so we're almost to the boiling point. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in our dried malt extract, and I'm gonna stir it in once I get it all dumped out. I really like doing this right before the boil because it just keeps things under control. Now, I'm gonna pull out a thermometer while I'm stirring this. I may have to dial the heat back a little bit. I'll put our thermometer back in so I can keep an eye on the temp. I like to have it just past the point of boiling, but not much further than that. Very slow rolling boil. Once you get this dried malt extract in there and introduced into your wort, you'll be fine once it get to that first bit of boil. It's gonna be interesting to see what this beer tastes like. Let's check our heat and see where we're at here. So it's close. It's super, super close. Even after dumping that cold dried malt extract, I mean, it didn't really lower the temperature much. And it's still sitting at least 210 degrees. So, or 210. So we're a few degrees off. I think boiling's 218-ish, somewhere around there. So we're only a few degrees from boiling. So we're gonna keep an eye on it. We'll just keep stirring it too, just to make sure that everything is good. Kind of hard to stir with the thermometer in here, but we'll keep a close eye on it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and set our timer since we got it, got our malt extract in there. One more thing that we do need to do though, we need to put in our UK Fuggle hops. So let's do that now. Before we forget. We don't want to forget. And actually this is a pretty simple brew. I'm gonna just stir this in really good. So with this brew, you introduce after your steeping, you put in your dried malt extract and your 1 hop addition, and that's it. You're done. I mean, that's the whole thing. And you're gonna brew this for 45 minutes, and then we're gonna do an ice bath, get it chilled down, and then in the fermenter with some yeast. Pretty simple, straightforward. Now, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but all that milkiness went away, and that's what you want to see. That's when you know you're safe. Once that milkiness goes away and it turns kind of back down to that golden brown, we're good. We got past, so we're usually that happens right at boiling or right close to boiling. And we've gotten pretty good, you can see all that steam coming off. We've gotten really good at judging with, especially these. With a liquid malt extract, it's not a big deal. But with these, you gotta be real careful or you can have a big mess. All right, so we got 45 minutes. We're gonna keep an eye on this and we'll be back. And then we'll be chilling it down and getting it into a fermenter. And until we do that, we're gonna keep enjoying this Smashing Pumpkin Ale, another great beer. All right, our timer just went off and we're gonna cut our heat to our wort. We already got our fermenter here. It's already sanitized, got our airlock filled with sanitation solution. We got to still sanitize our yeast packet though, but we got another fermenter with some solution in it that we'll dunk that in. And let's get the heat off of this, get this in an ice bath, and then we'll come back and fill the fermenter. We'll see you in a few. All right, so we got an ice bath here. I'll go ahead and get it all iced up. I'm gonna let that sit and It should cool down here, maybe 30 minutes or so, and we'll be able to transfer it into our fermenter once it's cooled off. All right, so our wort has chilled down to 70 degrees, so we're ready to transfer it into our sanitized fermenter. So let's get it over there. This is actually looking really clear. Not a whole lot of crud in the bottom of it. A little bit left there, I believe. They do recommend in the instructions for this particular recipe, I haven't noticed it on any of the other 1 gallon batches, that you shake it around and aerate it. So I'm gonna do that. Normally don't do that on these smaller batches, but I'm gonna do it on this one since they recommend it. So with the lid on it, of course, just kind of rotate it around. You want to make sure your lid's on good actually and get everything pushed in. We did get some air introduced into it when we poured it. This is really a really super clear brew. I mean, I'm really surprised at how clear it came out of the kettle. There was very little left in the bottom of the kettle that had any like residue or whatever, sediment. I'd say do this for about a minute. It doesn't really tell you how long to do it in the instructions. It just says to do it. And I think that's good enough. Let me pull the airlock back out. So we got to put our yeast in still. Don't put your yeast in before you do that. Do it afterwards. All right, so sanitize my yeast packet in sanitation solution and my scissors. So we just want to sprinkle our yeast over the top. And let's get everything put back together. Make sure your lid's on good and tight. And get our airlock back in. You want to fill your airlock. This one's not quite half, but about halfway. So about there, but you want it about halfway or so. That just lets it prevents any air from going inside of your fermenter while we're letting the carbon dioxide escape through the top. All right, so we're good. We're good to go. This is gonna sit for about 2 weeks and ferment, and after 2 weeks we're gonna bottle her up. So we'll see you then after 2 weeks. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe, check out all our other social media channels. We have links down in the description. Check out our sponsor, morebeer.com. They have a lot of great recipes just like the one we did. Links in the description. Also, don't forget to visit brewingdaddy.com. Peace out. We appreciate you.